Life is weird.
Super weird.
So, what did we decide to do with our fascination for the strange and unusual?
We made a podcast about it. This is Weirdify. Now,
let's get weird. I think we're ready now.
We're ready.
Yes.
It's not a Weirdify episode if we don't have technical difficulty.
It's really not.
It's not, but we got it. We're here. Hello, I'm Haley.
I'm Amanda.
And welcome to episode 6 of Weirdify. Hello, my love. How are you?
Hi, I'm so wonderful. We're just starting, but I feel like I'm gonna need a refill on my drink fairly soon, actually.
Oh, do you want to get it now?
No.
I'm out of wine. This is the remainder of the bottle. No judgment.
She's out of wine with a full glass in her hand.
It's delicious. It's red wine, and I'm sad that this is all that I have. I'm trying to nurse it. Do you have something to say? Do you have something to say? Please say it if you
I was just going to say that this week I'm going to try to not scream into the microphone. Apologies if I blew out anybody's ears. I'm really sorry. If you've even joined us again for another episode, bless your heart.
Bless you.
I was into her story, and
it's
I'm sorry.
Okay.
But I'm very aware of not doing that again. So
I don't think that you're going to scream this time.
All right.
I think you're going to be creeped out, but I don't think you're going to scream.
I think you're going to be creeped out.
Okay, so I have another story that I would like to start this episode off with.
Okay.
So this is courtesy of my incredible, wonderful, amazing mother-in-law. And she proceeded to tell me it's either their family friend from back east or a family member, like a distant family member. I can't remember. Sorry, Michelle. Basically, this was back in like the early 80s. And it was at one of the like largest shopping malls in the Midwest, not even Midwest, East. Oh my God, geography. And it was this family friend or family member or whatever and her daughter. They were just shopping, whatever. The daughter was 16 and she was like, Mom, I have to go to the bathroom. And so she went to the bathroom and the mom stayed, in the food court or wherever she was. And it had been a while. And she's like, wow, she's been in there a really, really long time. And so she proceeded to make her way towards the bathroom. And as she was about to enter the bathroom door, this lady opened the door at the same time. And she had her daughter, her arm around her shoulder, and she was holding her up. And the daughter was out of it. It looked like she had been drugged something. And the lady looked at the girl's actual mother and was like, my daughter fainted. I need to get her out to get some air. And the lady was like, that's my daughter. And apparently the chick just dropped the girl on the floor and took off.
I bet she did. Oh my gosh.
I was like, how have I never heard this story? Can you imagine? I can't imagine having my daughter go into the bathroom and this lady is like pretending as if she's her daughter.
I have a similar story, actually. Somebody that I know has same thing, like a younger daughter. They were all at the mall at like the movies or something. And, everybody wanted to go to the bathroom. One kid just like didn't come out. And the mom went in, long enough later that's like, what's going on? And same thing. She found somebody in the bathroom stall with her daughter. And she was like, oh, my daughter's just sick. She's like, get off her. Like, that's my daughter. And yeah, just like crazy. Yeah. And she just like took off. You can't trust anybody. I mean, the world we live in isn't like all sunshine and rainbows. We wish it was, but
it's getting less and less sunshine and rainbows.
Yucky
and more
and
death
yuckier.
and abduction.
Yeah, yucky and yuckier usually.
Yucky and yuckier.
Well, I'm really excited to know what you are. Oh, what's our topic?
Our topic this week is weird places.
Okay. And what have you brought?
I have brought another creepy story because I'm me.
I brought a creepy story too.
Yeah, so we're creeping it out here. Have you ever heard of the Island of Dolls?
Honestly, okay. I kind of want to cry right now, just a little bit. Okay, remember earlier when I was like, I'm not going to scream? Okay, I'm going to try so hard to keep that statement true. Why dolls? Did you do this because of me?
You haven't heard of the Island of Dolls?
No.
Okay. Right,
okay, so is this because of me? Did you pick this to torture me?
This is the place that I was originally thinking of doing.
To torture me?
No. Ready?
All right.
The Island of Dolls, or in Spanish, it's the Isla de las Muñecas.
Why are you staring at me? Was I supposed to have a reaction this early
I don't
in?
know. I feel like in the first episode, I was saying like Spanish names, and I just said them so they just sounded bad. So I just needed to make up for that. No.
Well, I have some foreign names to try and pronounce too, so everybody can bear with me as well.
Okay, I don't feel as bad then. In the mid-20th century, Don Julian Santana Barrera made the choice to leave his wife and his children and live a life of solitude. He relocated to an island on Texuelo Lake in Xochimilco, Mexico, which is located south of Mexico City and is an area made up of multiple canals and is one of the last remnants of a large water transport system that was originally built by the Aztecs.
Cool.
Not long after he had settled on the island, Don Julian found the body of a young girl who had drowned in the canals. And not too long after that, he found a doll that had come floating down the canal. Don Julian believed it to be the spirit of the young girl. So, in an attempt to appease the girl's spirit, he tied the doll to a tree. After this, Don Julian claimed that he heard footsteps, whispers, and wails of anguish.
Oh, like that?
Yeah, probably. You look anguished.
I am.
So these happenings drove him to believe that it was no longer just the single spirit of the drowned girl, but in fact multiple spirits. Yay!
Oh, yay. We love a good multi-spirit party.
Because of this, he obsessed with the idea of pleasing the spirits and continued to collect dolls. This included baby dolls, Barbies, porcelain dolls, and mannequins that he would gather from rubbish heaps around his home and all of the multiple canals. He would even trade produce that he grew with the locals as a way to obtain more dolls.
Oh my god, he wants all the dolls.
He wants all of
He
the
wants
dolls.
every single
He
one.
wants every single doll.
No, I don't like this guy.
Over the next 50 or so years, he had managed to collect approximately 1,500 dolls, and he displayed them all. He would hang them from trees, nail them to trees and buildings, and he also covered the inside and outside of his own home with them.
Inside and outside, because one or the other was not enough.
It's not good enough.
We needed both. Okay.
The dolls were not only of different varieties, so Barbies, porcelain, different kinds.
Okay.
But they were also in several different stages of decomposition and disrepair.
No.
Disrepair.
Oh, because he would just find them and like bring
Yeah.
them. This is making me think Toy Story for sure.
The-
Do we reference Disney every episode?
It would not be an Amanda Haley podcast if we didn't reference Disney.
It would be very off-brand
but
if
yes,
we did not.
very much imagine the claw baby with
Okay.
one eye from Toy Story.
I got it.
Similar. So some were headless, some had limbs removed, or they were torso-less, but he displayed them anyway. There have been multiple speculations as to why Don Julian was so dedicated to collecting and displaying the dolls. The first is, as mentioned, it is said that he did it to appease the spirit of the drowned girl, as well as multiple other spirits, and he would hang the dolls so that the spirits could possess them and remain at bay and happy.
Oh, okay. He wants the spirits to possess the dolls.
He wants
He's
them
like,
to possess
please.
them so that they have a home, so that they're happy.
That's so kind of him.
The second theory is based off of that same initial idea. However, rather than the dolls being hung for the spirits to possess, some say that they were in fact put on display as guardians of the island and were there to offer protection against the spirits. So to try to deter them
All right.
from tormenting Don Julian. The third theory is that Don Julian had grown obsessed with the young girl that he had found, and that the dolls were simply a shrine to her and to show his dedication.
Oh, that's the creepiest ever.
Yeah.
I don't like that one.
Yeah.
Let's go with option 2. I will take B. Thank you very much.
I'll take B, Alex. Thanks.
Yeah.
Oh, R.I.P. Did you hear that he died?
Oh, yeah. Such R.I.P. Is this a bad time to say happy almost Thanksgiving, everybody?
Happy almost Thanksgiving.
Because it'll be tomorrow, I think, when this goes live, right?
Oh my gosh.
So happy, be thankful.
Oh my gosh, it's the day before Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, peeps. I'm so thankful
Yeah, same.
for our
Same.
listeners and this podcast.
Same.
That was
Same. This is the best thing, I think, so far in 2020 is Weirdify has come to you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. Amidst it all, here we are.
Oh, gosh.
Sorry, continue.
It's
Sorry,
okay.
that intermission.
It's okay. The final theory that most people believe is that Don Julian was not of sound mind, and they believe that the young girl was simply a figment of his imagination.
Usually I'm the one that's struggling with all the words.
I don't know what's happening.
It's okay.
Red wine. To this day, it is unknown whether or not a girl had actually, in fact, drowned in the lake.
Oh, no. Okay.
It is one of the most popular tourist attractions around Mexico City. In 1987, it was declared a World Heritage Site, which really expanded the tourist activity of the island.
Okay, cool.
Don Julian himself would even accept visitors for a small fee, and he would actually give them a tour of the island. And he continued to give tours until his death.
Oh my gosh.
And he had died in 2001, and his body had been found by his nephew, and it was found in the same area that he had claimed to have found the body of the drowned girl. Some people believe that he had drowned just like the little girl, and then other reports that I had read said that he had died of a heart attack. But regardless, his body was found in the same area that he had said he found the girl. Now, I know that you're itching to know how to get there.
Oh, yes. Please tell me.
I know that you're putting it on a list of places that you absolutely need to go and see. Because, obviously. So should you want to visit the island, it is approximately 28 kilometers or 17 miles south of Mexico City. You need to take a trajinera, which is sort of a wooden gondola situation.
Okay.
When Michael and I were on our honeymoon, we went on it was called a floating fiesta. And so they just had multiple trajineras laid out, and they were all representative of the different states in Mexico. And yeah, they're essentially a wooden gondola, and they have a little roof that's built on them.
All right.
Since obviously it's made up of all canals. So yes, you need to take a trajinera in order to access the island, and the journey takes approximately 2 hours. There are quite a few rowers that refuse to take you due to superstition, but you can find people willing if you simply ask around. Apparently, on the journey, you will get to see lush greenery and listen to all the pretty birds sing. But as you near the island, your boat will be slowed down by a mass of lily pads, and any of the surrounding noises, so birds, anything of that nature, is replaced by ominous silence. Yay!
Of course it is, because it's a bunch of dolls. It's a bunch of fucking dolls. It's not going to be anything good. It's going to all be bad.
Yeah. So you're approaching it in ominous silence. And tourists say that when they step onto the island, the atmosphere immediately feels heavy.
Oh my God, shocked. I'm shocked. Never more surprised in my life.
I know. It's
heavy,
just very out of character.
Can't
because
believe that.
All these creepy dolls would definitely not make it feel heavy.
Yeah.
And tourists also say that they often feel that they have eyes watching their every move.
Imagine that.
Some also claim that they see the dolls move their limbs, or they will hear voices that seem to be coming from the dolls.
Also, not surprised. This is all the reasons I would never go.
In order to avoid the spirits coming home with you.
Oh yeah, we don't
want it. We rebuke that. We don't want it. You're not welcome.
We don't want that.
No, this is a positive place.
Yes.
But in order to guarantee that they don't follow you home, visitors will leave coins and trinkets on the island as gifts for the spirits.
Okay. That's good. That's nice.
Some claim that the island is definitely 100% haunted, while others claim that it is simply just as easy to imagine the hauntings because the island is so ominous.
Right.
And it gives off all kinds of spooky vibes.
Totally.
It was short. It was sweet.
Did you have something on the computer too, or no?
I'm about to bring it up.
Okay. This is already bad news bears. Okay. Oh my God. Oh no. Oh, that's bad too. Oh, okay. See the first picture. Okay. All right. See, that's a little dark. Oh, wow. Nope. They're all just awful. I would say every single one has my
how many there
nippity nopity noop.
Do you see how many dolls there are? These aren't even doing justice.
Oh God, no. Nope.
How creepy would it be if it just turned and looked at you?
I don't want to think about that, okay?
I think that's probably all
through the computer. Oh, wow, that's fun too. Another doll face from the depths of hell. All right.
That's the Isla de las Muñecas.
That's very interesting, Haley. Well, you always bring something painful to the topic.
I have to keep you on your toes.
Shall I begin?
Please.
Okay.
Please begin.
So I have a feeling you've probably at least heard of what I'm going to talk about, which is the catacombs in Paris.
Yeah. I just watched this movie.
What movie?
As Above, So Below.
Oh, you did? Oh, well, hopefully I have some new information to share with
please.
you then.
I mean, that was kind of like Blair Witchy documentary style.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely. Dive on in there.
All right, I'm diving. So the definition of a catacomb, for anybody who doesn't know what a catacomb is, it is an underground cemetery with tunnels, to just kind of put it simply. I felt like the most appropriate place to start off. Your face is making me so happy. You are I can tell you are like on the edge.
My body is ready. Lay it on me, sister friend.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I felt like the most appropriate place to start was with all of the weird shit that's happened down there. So that's kind of what I want to start off with. But I want to kind of set a tone for these catacombs in Paris because they're a vibe. Okay. Underneath the city of Paris, there is an underground network of about 200 miles of labyrinth tunnels. I highly recommend looking up a map because it's truly amazing that this web of tunnels underneath the city actually exists. All right, so we just looked up a map of the catacombs. So it's essentially I wouldn't say a mirrored image of the city, but there is this incredible network of tunnels just right underneath the city of Paris. So there are a ton of entrances all over the city. And it's kind of like, if you know, you know. If you know people who know, you can kind of like get down there if you want to. But it has been closed to the public for a long time. I'll get into all of that later. There is one public entrance remaining that offers tours. And if you go today, the tour will begin with your 6th floor descension down a narrow spiral staircase where you are met with a single gate and a sign that reads, "Stop. Here lies the Empire of Death."
Empire. Something, something, something. Dark side.
Exactly.
You know, who would want to walk past the sign that says, "Stop.
Not I," said the fly.
Empire of Death.
The tunnels are already like a nope goes for me. I mean, maybe if I was like in Paris and the opportunity presented itself, I feel like I would have a hard time turning that down. But
I mean, if I was in Paris, to get me there. I'd be like, fuck the catacombs. I'm gonna get me a baguette.
Oh.
And some cheese and a great bottle of wine.
Yeah.
And be like, bye, Amanda, if you make it out alive, I got some bread for you.
You're my creepy friend, though. How would you not even want to see the catacombs?
I mean, I would, but I wouldn't go past the "Stop Empire of Death" sign.
Well, that's the start of the tour.
Then I'm good with just the lobby.
I'm going to buy a little bone keychain, and I'm going to call it good, guys.
I went to the catacombs, and I got as far as the lobby.
Oh, my gosh. No.
You know, I mean, I think it's interesting, but I don't know.
It's a whole designated thing. You know, it's a whole regulated tour thing. It's like a little over a mile or so. You go down there and you just kind of putz around in a lot of tunnels.
We were talking about Paris earlier, so if we make it to Paris, maybe.
Oh, it's up in the air.
We're putting it in the universe.
Paris, what do you got for us? Catacombs, maybe. It seems like that's a long shot because I don't do tunnels. And she's not feeling it already. So if Paris happens, we shall see. It would be, we want to do Disneyland Paris, so it would definitely be the up and the down.
Yeah, exactly. Balance. Life
the
is
high
about
vibes
balance.
And the low vibes.
Everything perfectly balanced.
Exactly.
As it should be.
You know what? And that's true. And the fact that both of us, well, I guess we're not really both interested in going down there, but.
I mean, I'd be fascinated, but Absolutely. I also think that there's a lot of, you're stirring things up where you don't need to be. You know what I mean?
We're going together or not at all. That's a fact.
Okay.
I'm not, what? I don't want to go to the catacombs like alone. I'm not just going to be like.
You'll probably have a tour group.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Need a friend.
For the sake of Weirdify.
I'm phoning in a friend.
I'll bring my Camelback. I'll fill it with wine.
I'm going to fill mine with Tito's and sparkling water.
Not super deep, but maybe we'll dip a toe.
We're going to dip a toe,
Dip a
dip a
toe.
toe. Okay.
All right, continue. Sorry.
So there are many urban legends of things happening down here, from satanic gatherings, Nazi gatherings, of course, ghosts. How could there not be ghosts?
Yep,
Let's be honest.
How?
Even raves. And
even raves!
even raves. As intriguing as all of that sounds, a word of caution to this tale. If you feel the need to roam these tunnels, do it before midnight. Because if you go after midnight, you may hear the voices of the dead trying to lure you in deep into the catacombs so you never find your way out. In fact, this might have happened in 1793. Now, we're going to teleport here. I'm going to talk a lot about the 1700s, and I just want everybody to picture colonial.
Sorry, that was my teleporting
colonial
noise.
garb. We're in buckled shoes. We're in ruffles. We're in
Petticoats.
We're
in corsets.
We're full colonial. Okay. So in 1793, and I alluded to this earlier, I'm sorry, France, if I butcher all of everything.
Names.
A man named Philibert Aspierre, he was the doorman at the Val de Grace Hospital. He fell victim to these tunnels. Through a staircase somewhere on the hospital property, he found himself inside the catacombs with nothing but a single candle, and he got lost. His body was found 11 years later in 1804.
Single candle?
What else do you have in fucking
I know
1793?
you don't have a flashlight,
Nope.
But bring 2 candles.
Okay, so allegedly he was drinking. Allegedly he was looking for liquor, so maybe he wasn't totally the right state of mind, which is maybe how we ended up down there anyways.
All right, Aspierre.
Some say that he was found with a bottle of liquor in his hand, like in his skeleton 11 years later.
Dedicated.
Yeah, man, he was like, I gotta get my booze on.
Dedicated. Did you say 11 years later?
11 years later he was found. His remains.
Just because the catacombs were that big?
200 miles of pitch black network tunnels. And like, if you have just one light and it goes out, you will never find your way out.
I'm going to stick with my baguette, my cheese, my bottle of wine, and a bubble bath.
I mean, I'll join you for that. That sounds a lot better than pitch black tunnels.
Yeah, it does. You didn't mention anything about pitch black.
Well, it's underground. I did feel like that kind of alluded to that, but like mines,
torches.
anything. Okay.
I don't know. Sorry,
Right.
I'm sorry.
Well, they're pitch black. They're not full of any light.
Mm-hmm.
It's all blackness. Well, maybe the tour has some built-in lights, but generally speaking, there's no lights in these tunnels.
Okay.
So, back to Philip.
Oh, his name was Philip? Whoop. I called him
It's
Aspierre.
like Philibert or something like that. Philibert.
What's his last name?
Philibert Aspierre.
Okay, because I was calling him Aspierre.
Yeah, Aspierre, something like that. Something to that effect.
Okay.
So he was found 11 years later in 1804, and sadly, he was just steps from the exit. Like, he was almost there. But when you don't have any light, how would you know? How would you know?
Is the exit just stairs?
It can be anything.
Okay.
I'm going to talk about several other entrances, but like, truly, if you could think up an entrance, it could maybe be an entrance.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to talk about the movie, but I assume you're going to touch on that, so I'll hold.
I'm not really going to touch on that at all.
Oh, I was going to say...
Wait, do you want to tell everybody what movie?
I did. As Above, So Below.
Oh.
I think I mentioned it already.
I think you did too.
Okay. As Above, So Below is the movie, and basically this group of archaeologists like enter. There's a corridor, and then it just gets deeper and deeper and deeper via stairs. Gotcha. But then when they, spoiler alert, when they exit the catacombs, they're exiting through like a manhole in the middle of a Parisian street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also I've heard you have to really know your way around this inner network of tunnels if you want to actually go down there successfully, because you can go down there and police are on patrol so regularly that they're sealing up any open like entryways.
Oh.
So you might not be able to get out the same way that you got in.
Oh my gosh, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
So like you could enter.
I was just watching a YouTube video. This happened to some guys. They were like down there. Okay, I'm going to touch back onto this later because it ties back into something else that I'm saying later, but I will tie back into this. I'm not going to give up my story just yet. I'm going to keep you guys on your toes. Ooh, yeah, okay. A little bit of suspense. Okay, I love how much we're derailing on this one. Back to Philip.
Back to Philip.
So he was just us from the exit, and he was identified by a hospital tag on his belt. He was buried right where he was found in a now restricted section of the catacombs.
Why did he have a hospital tag on his belt?
Because he worked for the Val de Grace Hospital.
Oh, you did. I apologize.
It's all good, yeah. But that's the only way they were able to, like, actually be like, yo, Philip,
this guy.
We're gonna bury you here, bro. We got you. Okay.
Okay.
So apparently his ghost haunts the catacombs every November 3rd, which I don't know if that's when he died or that's just like his haunty date. But November 3rd, he's down there, but he's he's like the helpful haunt. He's the Casper catacomb, if you will.
Casper the Catacombs.
So he's down there to help you find your way out. He doesn't want anybody to suffer the same fate that he did. But he might blow your candle out. I don't know how that's helpful, but he's there to help you.
He wants you to get out, but he wants you to be in a complete darkness.
He wants you to, like, think you're fucked, and then he'll lead you out or something like that.
Kind of a troll.
Yeah,
but with
a little
good
bit.
intentions.
He's like, I've been down here a long time. We're going to have just a little bit of fun.
Keep it spicy.
But here's your exit. Yeah. Exactly. So he's definitely not the first or the last to get lost down there.
Sure.
So there was a weird incident. There was a camera found in the 90s from a group of people exploring the catacombs. They came across this video camera with footage on it, and I'm not really sure how long the whole footage is, but more or less the first 40 minutes is of a guy just walking around the catacombs. This is not that unusual. People are known to just walk the depths of these caverns. Okay, so he's walking around the catacombs, he's walking around, everything's normal until it isn't normal, and all of a sudden he's kind of walking faster and things just kind of like shift tone and feel weird, and you're not really sure what's kind of like happening. One place said like maybe there was weird noises in the video, and he goes to like a run, and then he drops the camera, and that's it. You see him run out of shot into darkness, and that's the last you ever see of this guy. Nobody knows if this guy got out alive. Nobody knows if this guy
is no mas.
Apparently there is a portal to hell or a gate to hell within the catacombs.
See,
that's where some people think this guy might have gone. I hope he just got out, but
I do too. I don't hope he went to the portal
some
of hell,
people think hell was like, yo,
if something had a hold of him
coming at you,
he may not have had a choice.
Yeah. Well, and it's weird because you think like, why would you drop your only source of light? But I don't know. Something obviously was going weird. But some people also think it's a total hoax and that these people found this and that they placed it there. But it's definitely a man walking around the catacombs. That's undeniable. Like, if it's a hoax, it's well done, if you will. Because there's definitely somebody just walking around the catacombs and then starts acting like a lunatic.
Yikes.
On to more fun facts. This is probably one of the coolest facts I feel like that I read. So in 2004, police entered via a drain to previously uncharted areas of these tunnels when they came across a sign that read building site, no access. Entering further, because they're the police and they're like, we access.
Absolutely.
Yeah. They came across a camera recording them paired with a recording of barking dogs, which was just basically a security system, but just really freaking weird to have in this uncharted area.
I was going to say, it had been uncharted.
Of the catacombs.
The hell is that?
So going further, they found a huge uncharted cavern that was fully equipped with professionally installed pirated electricity and phone lines. There was a full theater with films. I know, this is crazy. There was a full theater with films, like classic films. There was a fully stocked bar. There was a restaurant with benches like carved into the
like
walls
the
around. Yeah. But a fully stocked bar, a fully stocked restaurant. So the police are like, okay, what the hell? So whatever. They come back 3 days later. Everything is gone. Gone.
What?
They came back with some like, Paris electrician people to be like, where are they getting this energy from? Everything's, so nicely installed.
Gone.
Everything is gone. And there is a note that says, do not try to find us.
Oh my gosh! No! No!
You can see why this is one of the more interesting things that I read. Even though every single thing about the catacombs is
it's like
interesting.
Not only is it a portal of death, but then it's like alternate dimensions, glitches in the matrix, like all these. Ooh. Okay, keep going.
So as recent as 2017. There's even still been stuff going on. So there was 2 kids who ended up getting lost, and they got lost for 3 days until police found them.
Were they dead?
There was, what's that?
Were they dead?
No.
Oh, good.
Police found him. Well, I guess police regularly roam the catacombs. Like, there's
Because they know that people are going to be stupid.
Yes, but there's not, I guess, in retrospect to the 200 miles of tunnels, there's not necessarily a whole lot of police, right? Like, you're probably not going to get caught if you go down there.
Yeah.
But there is a chance
They can't
that
have them, like, every, like, I don't know, 100 yards
exactly.
or something. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you do get caught, you could get fined and stuff like that. So, like, whatever. All at your own discretion. There was also a group of French thieves who drilled into the walls of the catacombs. This is still in 2017. And into a wine vault underneath an apartment. They ended up stealing about 300 bottles of vintage wine valued at 250,000 euros or almost 300,000 American dollars. They just drilled right in, took it for themselves, never got caught.
Wow.
Just, those bottles of wine are gone. Mm-hmm. So there's also a lake underneath. There's actually many lakes or ponds within the catacombs that people have been known to swim in. But there's one in particular underneath Opera Garnier, measuring 60 feet wide and 12 feet deep. And apparently the employees know about the lake, and there are actually fish that live in the lake and dwell in it. And the employees are known to feed these fish mussel. Like, it's just a nice little thing. Firefighter.
I'm sorry. Backspace?
Yeah.
Backtrack.
Delete.
They're known to feed the fish mussel?
That's what I heard.
Like human muscle?
No. Like mussels.
Like mussels. Like the clam.
Yep.
Like mussels.
Yeah.
Like spit. Okay. I thought you meant they just rip apart people's muscles and just like, here you go, little fishy. Sorry.
It does.
Thank you for your clarification.
It does fit the tone, but no, that's not quite
Mussels.
Yes.
Got it.
Well, maybe I said muscle, so I mean that's definitely.
It's all good.
Firefighters have also been known to use this lake for training in water rescues in a dark environment. The catacombs were closed to the public in 1955 because, they don't want riffraff or
Sure.
I don't know. Whatever, doing their business.
Yeah.
But it did not prevent people from going down there because people have obviously been known to explore these many off-limit areas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's kind of a whole community down there, if you will. And there's these subcategories of people that are called certain things that are good for these tunnels and bad for these tunnels. And there's a group called the cataphiles, which are like the good guys. And then there's like the catalysts, something like that. I'm not really sure. But they're the bad guys. And
so there's a whole like hierarchy system?
No, not really. But like, okay, so the cataphiles is kind of a broad term for, well, anybody who goes down there not on tour is technically illegally down there.
Sure.
Even though there's like, if you know people who know how to get down there, you might not get caught, whatever. But
not
technically,
part of a known tour.
Exactly. It is illegal. Okay. It's been illegal since 1955. But the cataphiles are people who will pick up trash and are there to like do good. They want to explore. They want to see if there's anything that's like not been discovered yet, like maybe those caverns or something like that those people were watching movies in.
Mm-hmm.
So they're do-gooders for these tunnels, and then there's the other sort of the other end of people who will hold raves. Police actually did break up a rave of about 300 people at one point in these vast tunnels. People have been known to do parties, do drugs, graffiti the walls, and just be the reason it was ever sort of closed to the public in the first place, I guess.
Okay.
Police have been on patrol since the 80s because kids have been known to go down to these tunnels through their schools. I guess a lot of these have now been sealed off, but just kind of like an interesting fun fact. They would go down there, they would do these drugs and the graffitis all down there and, and do their bad kid things. So there's also Cataloween, where kind of similar, people throw parties, but they also do shows and they go swimming and they'll get dressed up and drink and just throw this huge thing in the catacombs on Halloween called Cataloween. Okay. So that's like a whole subculture.
A whole thing. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Which I found Halloween is very enticing in itself.
Yeah.
So not super surprising that.
Yeah, it adds a whole element of like creepy, but then it's like you said, the people in the catacombs or that know about the catacombs are their own kind of
people.
Group.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then taking a turn from that, here's a random fun fact. That took a turn. We're going to take a turn from the dark. So this is a fun fact for the plant lovers. Mushrooms have been known to grow inside the catacombs since like the 19th and 20th century. A man named de Chambéry was exploring the tunnels and came across healthy mushrooms, which inspired him to try to cultivate more, which he successfully did. After many more people followed in successfully growing all these healthy, amazing mushrooms, the practice became regulated and recognized by the French National Society of Horticulture, growing over 1,000 tons of product during their peak production. Those are little mushrooms.
Wow.
I know.
Do they say what kind of mushroom?
Button mushrooms?
Button!
Button!
Little button
It's a button mushroom. So it became successful and a profitable business to plant some. And I guess there's a good chance that people are still doing it today, even though you're not really, like, it's not really known. But these damp, sort of dark, humid environments are just the perfect, So it's not that surprising if somebody was growing some mushrooms. So I feel like it's taken us a minute to get here, but let's talk about the history of these catacombs. How did they come to be? So those are all of the facts that I found interesting or weird that have gone on over the years there, but where did they come from? So they have thought to have been around since the Roman times. These tunnels were originally mined for their limestone and actually built a lot of Paris. They also helped build the Notre Dame we're still in the 1700s. We're still in the 1700s. We're still in the buckle shoes and the ruffles.
The buckle shoes and ruffles. Oh, goodness.
All right. So in 1774, a portion of these tunnels collapsed, taking homes and people with it. And then over the next several years, many homes collapsed and just many more collapses happened because there wasn't really supposed to be a city supporting all of these tunnels. So King Louis XVI hired an architect to basically go down there and be like, what's up? Why are you falling? We got to fix you. So he did exactly that. He ended up digging more tunnels connecting what was already there to create the layout that we see today. And it's a really good thing too, because around 1780, Paris's cemeteries were becoming full, not only from the growing population, but also because of disease and famine. Citizens were complaining about the smell of rotting corpses, and not only just the smell of rotting corpses, but it was the entire air was the smell of death. Ew. It was curdling milk. It
Ew.
Was rotting meat.
Ew.
It was awful.
Ew.
So on top of that, because of that, the bodies weren't able to properly decompose.
Ew.
It is so ew. Okay. It doesn't get better. So the bodies weren't able to fully decompose in a way. All right, so we're getting there. So that also created disease in itself, them not being able to fully, and properly decompose. Mm-hmm. But an unfortunate event happened in 1780 where a cemetery called Les Insens, at the time Paris's largest and most used cemetery, had a wall collapse due to excessive rainfall. Okay, imagine this. A wall of a cemetery collapses, so all of the non-able to decompose corpses fall into a waterfall into all the neighboring properties. Are you envisioning what I'm putting out there?
I don't like it.
It's not good.
No.
Okay.
No. Nope. Waterfall of dead bodies.
Yeah.
I don't want it.
Luckily, they were able to actually harvest these partially decomposing bodies, believe it or not. So because of the way that they were decomposing, they were leaving these fat deposits or corpse wax that they were then using to make candles and soaps and then selling it back to the residents of Paris. It's like, here's grandma's soap. Go take a shower. It'll be €5, please.
So gross.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's inflation. That'll be €6, please, for grandpa's
fat.
I
don't like that at all.
Yeah. All right. So obviously we needed to come up. Not we. They. In the 1700s.
Not a part of it.
We were not a part of this. They needed to come up with basically a solution to extract these bodies and many other bodies from surrounding cemeteries and put them into the tunnels, effectively creating the catacombs, of which an estimated 2 million of the bodies of the 6 million that are over 6 million that are down there are from the Les Insens cemetery. At first, the bones were kind of just placed whatever. I like to think somebody like me walked down there and they were like, we need to organize these bones.
Your OCD kicked in real hard.
This is not the most effective way to get as many bones as we can. There's going to be a lot more people who are going to die. I imagine we're going to need to store a lot of bones down here. So this is
think smarter, not harder, people.
you guys, we need to, okay. So now actually, if you go down there, they're kind of beautifully arranged. I mean, morbidly beautifully.
Yeah.
But not
versus just in piles of
exactly.
shambles.
Although, depending on, where you go, there are also just sort of rooms and random piles of bones all over the catacombs as well, because they are just deep and mysterious, right? Okay. Amongst these bones, you may also find the bones of Charles Perrault. Well, you will. He's down there. He's the original author of Cinderella and the Little Red Riding Hood.
Oh, the dark versions, not the
seriously. Seriously. Through the years, these tunnels have provided shelter and protection to people who know how to access it. In World War II, actually, both Nazis and the French resistance were actively using these tunnels, and traces of the Nazi bunkers still remain today.
Wow.
With people finding more uncharted sections and tunnels and people still exploring the vastness of these caves, it makes you wonder what could still be undiscovered. That's the catacombs.
Ooh, I still can't believe that you want to go. I mean, I get the appeal and I get the intrigue.
I never said I wanted to go.
Oh.
I don't want to do anything in a tunnel ever in my life.
Oh. So you're saying, okay, well, you were mentioning if we found ourselves in Paris and the opportunity presented itself to go. So, okay, this is my middle ground. If we find ourselves in Paris, obviously we're going to do Disneyland because duh. And if we have an opportunity to go on a guided tour of the catacombs, I'm only staying super shallow.
Guided AF.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
we're not trying to go through one exit.
No.
And then come back and find it sealed
it will
later.
Be a guided tour, and I refuse to go like more than 2 stories.
Well, okay, so the start of the tour is 6 floors down.
Then no.
So we're both fucked.
I'm going to dial it back to eating baguettes and cheese and drinking wine.
Like, if I was willing to do it, come on. You're not even claustrophobic.
Your cojones are bigger than me.
No, they can't be.
And
okay. Well, we'll revisit.
We're
gonna just... The next time we revisit this conversation, we'll be in Paris, standing outside the tour going, do we want to pay this much money to look at bones?
I'll eat escargot instead of...
Well, I'm good on that.
You don't want to eat escargot?
No.
It apparently tastes like chicken.
Well, I'm going to leave that to you to explore.
You can go in the catacombs and I'll eat escargot.
I don't want to go to the catacombs without you, or without at least a buddy system or something to that effect.
Okay, that's fine. I wouldn't let you go by yourself also, just so you know. Just so everyone's aware that I wouldn't let her go by herself.
I don't imagine that you would, but if it came down to that, I just probably wouldn't go. We would just do something else that was happier. We would
eat bread and cheese and
even
drink
though
wine.
Even though the catacombs is up our alley, it's also not up our alley in the same way. It's like morbid and dark and creepy, but just still a lot of
We're not the kind of people that go looking for trouble. Like,
no,
we're
absolutely
interested,
not.
But then it's like to an extent we're like, we were good.
But I mean, like a guided tour. Is that really looking for trouble, or is that just like an interest in the dark?
You just never know what could happen on a guided tour.
Oh shit, you're right.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yes, you're very welcome. That was very fun to look into.
You haven't seen As Above, So Below?
No.
Okay. So
I did read about it in my readings.
Yeah, it was like I think a guy and a girl. Both are like paleontologists, historians, and all this jazz. And so basically the chick is super good at what she does. And so like, come down to the catacombs. And so her and this guy like team back up. And there's this whole other team of people. And obviously just like in any other like scary movie, one by one, each person like dies off. And they just keep going deeper and deeper and deeper. And then it starts to fuck with their mind. And it's just not a good time.
Eesh.
And so then there's only a few of them left by the end of the movie because all this crazy shit has happened. And like I said, they enter through like a tunnel or catacomb, whatever. And there's like a gate and just stone steps. and they are now exiting through a manhole in the middle of a Parisian street. It's just, they got so turned around and all this crazy shit was happening underground. And
wow.
it was interesting. I would not say that it was scary. You could probably handle it. It's more of a thriller.
Well, there's
It
probably
doesn't
not a
have
whole...
like jump scares.
I was going to say, there's nothing that's really going to jump out at you.
There's
down
no
there.
jump scares. It's definitely like very eerie and it's very kind of more like a mind
I could see that.
fuck movie.
Yeah.
So it was good. I wouldn't see it again, but it was definitely like, okay, I think it kind of put into perspective the whole like what goes on there, how did these come to be, that whole element of the catacombs.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I'd recommend it, but that was good.
Well, we shall see catacombs if we ever meet your fate. Haley's not sure. I'm not sure either. We shall see.
Don't know about that one, but it's okay. Oh, wow. Well, now we have 2 new places that we need to get our passports stamped for.
No, we're not.
No?
No.
Oh, why?
I would spend the night in the catacombs before I spent a day looking
Are you serious?
at the doll island.
Even just a few hours? As long as you leave a coin and, like, you go into positive intent.
I don't want to be anywhere around that.
See, I think there's more dark shit in the catacombs than there would be.
Well, yeah, there's like 6 million freaking bodies down there.
No, I know, but I'm saying, like, I feel like there would be more, like, evil and darkness, especially since there's been, like, satanic, like, meetings, cult meetings, probably murder.
Yeah, well, I just don't want to go anywhere near that island at all. This is the island of nopes over here for that island of dolls.
Island of nopes.
The island of head no, head no, head no, no.
Head to the no. Oh my gosh.
Thanks for joining us again for another episode.
Yeah. If you guys want to see some trippy photos, Google Paris catacombs.
Map of.
Google the island of dolls. And
do that at your own free will.
And you can see all of the perfectly stacked bones. You can see all of the imperfectly nailed and hung dolls. You can see all of their lack of arms and their lack of bodies, and
it's not very good.
Yeah. But it's a trip. So we appreciate you listening. If you want to follow along with what episodes are out and anything involving what's going on with the podcast, you can catch us on Instagram at Weirdify Podcast.
You can email us your weird stories at weirdifypodcast@gmail.com. And we actually added a section to the website where you can submit either a topic you'd like us to discuss or you have some weird story that you would like us to read.
We keep you anonymous if you want to be anonymous.
Or not. Don't be anonymous.
Yeah, but we're starting to get...
Just send your shit and we're probably going to read your name.
Oh, yeah. But we're starting to get some... We're starting to get some listener stories, and we're excited.
Yes, and we really want to read them back at you. So
Absolutely.
Send them in.
You can also listen to us officially where you get your podcasts.
Yes.
We're on it all.
All of
Weirdify Podcast.
Okay, now that we've rambled on about us for a very long time, you can get back to you. And until next time, guys, just remember to
keep
it
weird.